day. What day is today specifically? Well, today is the 24th day in March 2025. What a day to be alive. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but not a lot. But I still got something. You know what I'm saying? Something that's a little not jive, you feel me? I don't even know what I'm saying. So let's say something about Assassin's Creed and how there was a bunch of people. Wait, hold on. Because I need the bad timing music. Let's go in my folder. I need the bad timing music because. Oh, wait, no. There was a lot of people who are a part of this movement full of stupid racists and weirdos and sexist and gayist people called the Go Woke, Go Broke movement. And a lot of them said Assassin's Creed is gonna fail. They said Assassin's Creed looks trash. Nobody's gonna buy this woke, lefty, liberal, garbage, bullshit game. This game was just made to pander to people. Well, games that are designed to pander to people usually don't work. Because people look at them and from a mile away, they see that it's garbage. But this game is succeeding. Why is it? Because it's not designed to pander to people. It's designed to give people a fun experience. And that's what people are getting. And I'm not even going to read the article. I just wanted to show you this headline to show you. You could go to this website, read this article, or you could do like I do and follow a bunch of gaming news outlets. And you'll see this headline all over the place, left and right. Now, the next thing they're probably going to do is move the goalpost and say something along the lines of, oh, Assassin's Creed just got all these good articles because people are paying them to say that the game is good. Whatever you want to say, bro. Whatever you want to say. Like, we haven't seen outlets like IGN, Insider Gaming, Polygon, all these other outlets call games that were popular and that other people liked bad because they didn't like it. Like, we haven't seen that before. And what do I always say? If everybody's saying the same thing, they either all see the same thing, which means they either are all getting the same misconception or they're telling you a truth that you have yet to accept. And in this case, it's not misconception, it's the truth. People love this game. People like this game. And I told y'all a long time ago before this game came out, Assassin's Creed may not be Mario or nothing like that, but in terms of the gaming community, it's right there under the Marios. Like, there's the Marios, Minecrafts, or Fortnites, and it's Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is a pretty popular franchise. And the stuff I've been seeing about this entry make it a good middle ground where they have a sneaky assassin's character for you to play a sneaky assassin game with. And they also have a less sneaky assassin, more brutish, can do a little bit of parkour type character that you could play the game with. But we ain't got to call the dumbasses dumb anymore. Psych, we're about to talk about what greedy bitch ass niggas and how they were working on a Mario Kart like crossover game. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, when I saw this article title, first thing I thought in my mind is these niggas must think it's 2010. Because like, when it comes to making kart racing games, unless you're Mario Kart, nobody's playing that shit. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. Mario is one of the top racing games of all time. There's not a lot you can do to dethrone Mario off of their Mario Kart made throne, because like a lot of people are not hopping off of Mario Kart period, but hopping off Mario Kart to get on a your kart racer, hell no. Because like, there's a rare few exceptions. Like, you may get a decent audience with a Sonic racing game, but they inconsistently release games, so they have a core audience that's pretty strong. Also, Sonic, one of the most popular characters of media of all time. So a Sonic racing game makes sense. Who else had racing games that I didn't care about? Oh, Disney, they recently released a racing game. Did you hear about that? No, exactly, because you don't give a shit. One game that we talked about a little while ago, Stampede Racing Royale. A lot of people just looked at this shit and said, fake ass Mario Kart, cut it the fuck off. They said that less than a year after launch, they're shutting that down. So when it comes to kart racing games, you really gotta do something mechanically that A, Mario Kart has never done, and B, you have to do something and get a collection of properties and or ideas together that really makes somebody want to hop off Mario Kart and hop on your game. Because Mario Kart isn't live service free to play slot, just to be clear, but it's pretty hard to pull people off of one game to another, which goes back to the saying I say all the time. If your game fails, if it's like, why don't I just test, you're not going nowhere. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, I'll explain it. You insert the name of whatever you think the thing you're talking about is like, and you say the sentence, if it's like the thing it's like, then why don't I just play the thing it's like? So, for example, let's say they named it WB Kart. If WB Kart is like Mario Kart, why wouldn't I just go play Mario Kart? You see how that sentence would hold up and be true for a lot of racing games? If insert kart racer is like other kart racer, why don't I just go play kart racer? So like, oh, rip, this idea seems like a terrible idea that they might have saved themselves another 100 million and not doing in the first place. Because Lord knows that on their good ideas, they was losing hundreds of millions. Multiverses, the Nemesis system, they're losing hundreds of millions potentially with the Nemesis system in terms of closing down Monolith and not licensing it out and just holding the fucking patent and doing nothing with it. I feel like the copyright office should take their shit because, like, bro, when did Shadow Mordor come out? I opened 2 tabs, whatever. Shadow Mordor came out like 2013. I know it was the OG Xbox. 2014. Shadow Mordor. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can. Shadow Mordor came out in 2014. When did Shadow of War came out? Because that's 10 years. We're going on 11. I don't know what time of year it released, but 10 going on 11. Shadow of War, I guess on like 2015. Oh, 2017. So the last time they made a game was 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 years ago. 8 years ago was the last time they used this system in a game. And a lot of Shadow of Mordor fans that have actually played Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War will tell you that the system they got in Shadow of War is nowhere near the same as Shadow of Mordor. Nowhere near the same. So it's like they basically haven't used the system in 10 plus years. And they're just holding on to the patent for that shit. I just had to mention that in there, you know, get my little anger out about that. But let's read about it. Speaking on the Sacred Symbols podcast, blah blah blah. According to a source speaking to Mortuary, more than 100 developers were working at the studio during the game's short development time. So they started development, but they ended it out because the idea fucking sucks. I'm assuming the game was codenamed Moonlight. However, it's claimed that the game was potentially going to be called WB Racers, trash name, and XDR, even worse name, because who the fuck is in this game? And what the hell is X or Cross Drift Racers? Oh, those names sound ass. There was quite a bit of animosity internally with people who worked on the game who felt that it was unfair that their sister team Player First got to launch Multiverses twice as they never got a shot to launch it after all that work. Yeah, because Multiverses was good, then they fucked it up, and then they brought it back and fucked it up again. So Multiverses was a game that people genuinely liked, and they took like 700 L's in a row. Also, Multiverses is a gameplay idea that people want. People want new platform fighters. I know a lot of people in the platform fighter scene industry, or people who like party fighters, who want more than just Smash, who want Smash to have some competition. We haven't seen it yet because Sakurai is genuinely a good video game director, video game maker. Multiverses, out of every platform fighter, and even it hurts my heart to say, even over Nick All Stars, over goddamn, what's the name of it? Over Nick All Stars, over Brawl Out, over Kirby Fighters, even though that's somewhat the same studio. Kirby Fighters, over every other kind of platform fighter. Even Brawlhalla, Brawlhalla exists in its own space, separate from Smash. It's closer to the FGC than Smash, even though Smash leads the FGC in a lot of things. Nothing is on par or in line, on track to even have half the amount of dominance that Smash has had for like the past 20 or so years of just existing in the fighting game space or in the gaming space in general. And Multiverses, after all this time, was the one game I saw that had potential. Because Nick All Stars, they fucked it up their first go round, and they couldn't get it right to the second go round. And like, what do I keep saying? Gaming is a hobby. You get one $80 chance. Because games nowadays is $70. Then the DLC, that's another $20, $30. You $90 in the hole and the nigga ain't even swing yet, as RDC said. Nobody's giving you a chance to do that. People barely tolerate that from their favorite fighting games that they're not gonna get the fuck off of. They gotta get the fuck off their favorite fighting game to get the fuck on your fighting game that they have no attachment to, don't give a fuck about, and you're starting off with trash and then you're leading up with genuine greatness. They don't give a fuck. But Multiverses came up the gate swinging hard, winning. But then Multiverses said, oh yeah, I hit Smash a couple times, I'm good. And the nigga just walked out the ring in the middle of the fight. They walked in the ring, said, and just walked out the ring. But on their way to walk out the ring, Smash cocked it back and they let it blow, and they Superman punched Multiverses in the head like 8 times. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Because like Multiverses just fucked it up for themselves. Like, why did you turn your back on the competition thinking you already won when you ain't even solidify yourself? They left beta and came back. Anyway, Warner Bros. And also Multiverses, when it first came out, Multiverses made money. So that's the reason why it launched twice. Your game didn't come out once. WB San Diego was shut down in 2025 earlier this year. Player First Games and Monolith Productions were also shut down at the same time. The announcement followed a challenging year for Warner Brothers Games division, which included a commercial failure of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and the disappointing relaunch of Multiverses. That's exactly right. Suicide Squad, that one failed because the game fucking sucked. Multiverses, on the other hand, the game didn't suck. All they had to do was stop adding characters nobody asked for and fix the over monetization in the games. And the second one can be fixed over time by adding more characters. It was really the over monetization that killed this game. I went into it a lot of times in the past, so I'm not going to go into it again. But if you haven't seen those, long story short, if you've never played Multiverses, which I wouldn't be surprised if you said you haven't, it goes like this. Everything you want to do in the game, you have to pay for it. You want to press right on the D-pad, pay for it. You want to change your character's color, pay for it. Story mode, to just beat the story mode. Fuck playing it. To beat the story mode, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay to do every little goddamn thing in that game. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you see how that game was, you'll find out, damn, he only exaggerated once in that whole example. I went outside when it was cold, so I had a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm spitting up a lot. But something that also has to do with spitting is how one of Valve's original executives shared a very simple secret to his success. You can't use up your credibility by trying to make bad games work. And I can use anything to make a good transition work. I don't want to hear nothing, bro. I'm gonna go. Oh, I have this too loud. Y'all need to say bless you in the comments for niggas. That's one thing I do like about sitting up here and talking while I'm a little bit sick. It helps mucus move in my body, because like on a regular day-to-day life, I don't have a lot of reasons to talk to people unless like I'm going to the store to order something, or unless I call someone to have a random conversation, and I'm just not the type of person to call a nigga and just talk for no reason. So doing this, it's like a happy, nice little medium. So I fuck with y'all. Anyway. Makes that phlegm come right up, but let's read further into this article, because like this is a sentiment a lot of people in the gaming community and a lot of gamers been saying for fucking ever. It's just companies haven't been listening. They sitting here thinking you can do whatever you want to your customer base for however long you want and just feed them slop and piles of slop after slop after slop. Like, yeah, every company, hold on 1 second, I gotta plug something in. Yeah. But yeah, every company makes mistakes, you know, every company has downfalls because, you know, we're all human. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But after a certain amount of time, you go from, okay, you're just making some mistakes along the way, you know, everybody has a fuck up here and there, to you get to a point to where it's like, yo, bro, what genuinely, what the fuck are you doing? And Valve is one of those companies that I could say they made some mistakes along the way. They made some choices in their business that people find undesirable, so to speak. They've had times where they pissed off their core fan base, but they never did nothing that made people suicide, fucking self-destruct, jump the fuck off the ship. Again. During a post-talk interview with PC Gamer's own Ted Lichtenfield at GDC 2025, Harrington revealed the big shiny secret to Valve's success. Aside from her own technical competence and industry savviness that saw her go to war with Sierra over its treatment of Half-Life, simply put, if you're in this industry, people have to trust you if you're going to be in it for a long time. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, because if people don't trust you to drop a banger, guess what they're not doing? Looking at your drops. You have to drop banger after banger after banger before people even pay attention to you. Forget people buying your products and stuff like that. Before they even look your direction, you have to drop 2-3 bangers, because most people, they're not taking chances on no-name studios. I am the type of person, whenever I got some disposable income, hell yeah, I'm gonna try me an indie game or two. Hell yeah, I'm gonna play a random Steam sale game I seen. Buy it, play it for an hour, and if I don't want to give it back, but if I want to keep it, hell yeah, I'm the type of person to try the game. You may even be that way too. But what I need a lot of people to realize is that we live in echo chambers and we don't realize it. Now, if you don't understand what an echo chamber is, that's when you're around a bunch of people who have the same or similar opinions a majority of the time. Meaning, you're probably not around people that are challenging your thought process and making you think differently from how you usually think, right? So a lot of people who are likely to watch a video like this are probably people who give indie games a chance. But think about your bros that only play 2K all day every day. Think about your friends that play Madden all day every day. If they see a game like I Am Your Beast, are they giving it a chance? If they see a game like Severed Steel, are they giving it a chance? They see a game like I was about to say Ori. No, even Ori and a Blind Forest, are they giving it a chance? Undertale, are they giving it a chance? Shovel Knight, are they giving it a chance? Chances are probably no. Castle Crashers, all good games, but probably no. But you see how even the bigger games I named, they put out banger after banger to the point to where they've been called good for so long, people might at least give them a chance. You have to do that to even get people's attention. Then, to keep their attention, now you have to consistently put out bangers on an expected schedule. So if you're a gaming studio, every year people are expecting a major update, which is basically a game, or a new game that's a banger on par with what you should release last year. Don't matter if you could do that if it's realistic. People's expectations are their expectations, whether they make sense or not. It's up to you to figure out a way to mitigate that. Anyway, in the talk before this interview, Harrington spoke about a game she was working on at Microsoft. I felt confident I knew how to market a game. I just needed a game that was worthy of being a hit. There's a lot of games worthy of being hits. There's a lot of songs worthy of being hits. There's a lot of whatever worthy of being hits. Will it? But over time, I started to realize I wasn't hearing great things about this game. 2K. I was pretty close to the technical teams then, and one of the things I would do is kind of walk up and down the halls and try to get the buzz that really wasn't reflected in the reports that I was reading on a regular basis. The bottom line was I just wasn't getting a good vibe. Well, I'm confused. Were you not getting a good vibe of the game or of the staff making the game? As in, like, the game isn't made yet, but knowing these people, I don't have any faith that they're gonna make anything good. Or as in, like, what you're making isn't bad, but that don't mean people will like it. In a case of like a Concord, where it wasn't a bad game. Despite all the niggas that get their opinions from YouTubers that never touched the fucking game, that just like to say, ha 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 ha, that game failed. As someone who actually played the fucking game before, it wasn't that damn bad. The bottom line was, later in a meeting, she was able to say by proxy, cancel that game by just asking, are you sure? Sometimes, that's what you need a nigga to say. Sometimes you need a nigga to say, hey, bro, keep that one in the drafts. That's just what you need sometimes. She used that unnamed game as a prime example in her conversation with Ted. I knew like that the game that didn't get shit right at Microsoft. What? I couldn't ask the people who worked on marketing that game to position it or say untrue things about it. Oh, so she's saying that the game was ass and she was kind of sad. She had the drafts. Keep it there. No. I get you put a lot of work into it. But if you put more work into it, you're going to be wasting your time. Keep that shit in the drafts. We're always trying to say things that's honest, that puts your product in the best way, but you can't use up your credibility and you can't lose it. Exactly. And it's real hard to gain back credibility. Look at Ubisoft. Since they dropped Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they've just been... In my opinion, it started with like Unity Syndicate, but some people like Valhalla. But after Valhalla, just... And even with Assassin's Creed, the half of them that people that are hating on the game before it released, that weren't the go woke, go broke weirdos, had some valid, legitimate points. It's like, yo, the last couple games you dropped were fucking basuda. So why would we have faith that you can make a good game when you just continuously showed us you can't, that you fell off? And it's hard to get that credibility back. Even at Valve, Harrington explains, new projects got killed for this reason. I know there were times where people would say reviewers, and these are the people where it's their job to evaluate these products. You would notice if you're paying really close attention, hey, this thing that we're all excited about, there's some reason that person's not lighting up. Yeah, because it's fucking garbage. It's that level of make or break excitement, Harrington argues, that allows people like her to be on pulse of video games as a whole. Yeah. You gotta be able to tell what people will and won't like. It's like one time I know somebody, I'm not gonna say their name, but I know somebody who was a rapper, and they was like, yo, I like making music, but I notice whenever it's a feature on a song, whatever, and I'm on a song, when it gets to my part, everybody stopped shaking their head. Everybody looked in the room and looked at him sad, and I was the only one who was able to say, well, I guess that means your shit ass, either get better or stop. Everybody looking at me like, come on, man. I'm like, that's the truth. Sometimes you just gotta tell a nigga, hey bro, your ass. Either get better or stop. And if you wanna get better, then your choice is made for you. Stop. And if you stop, you'll never get better. So either way, that's a hard way to walk down. You gotta walk down it. And you gotta also know what is your audience. Because if you're a conscious, lyrical, spiritual rappers, you're not gonna go in the corner and play your music for some fucking YNs. They're gonna look at you like, what is it, man? Get this lyrical, miracle, spiritual bullshit out my face. And they're gonna go play some fucking drill music. Kaka boom, I'm gonna shoot a nigga in his face. Kaka boom, I'm gonna piss on his face. Kaka boom. If you're a conscious rapper, don't show your music to them. But if you're a conscious rapper and you're showing your music to actually woke people, like my brother, what's today mathematics type people, and they're listening to their music like, nah, this shit ass, then you know your ass. So if you're showing something to your target audience and your target audience is telling you, man, this shit is garbage, like I said, you got a tough hallway to walk down. Either stop or get better. And if you stop, you'll never get better. And if you get better, it'll stop. So it's your hallway to walk down. But sometimes it's real fucking hard to get better. What made them so brilliant is they would notice a subtle no. A lot of people who are marketing geniuses were people in public relations, and some of them worked at the agencies, but what made them... I can't breathe right now because my fucking throat. Pause. And some of them worked at the agencies, but what made them so brilliant is they would notice the subtle undercurrents and they would express them back. What the fuck does that mean? Hold on, where are my glasses? My blue light glasses. I'm not blind, bitch. And express them back to people within the company by just asking questions, almost as a psychiatrist or psychologist would. Again, that "are you sure?" from Harrington rings in my mind. It's quite frankly an impressive level of industry savviness. True, because you got to understand what people want. Sometimes what you want to make isn't what people want, and you got to deal with that. Again, are you showing it to your target audience? And if your target audience is saying it's trash, maybe that shit is ass. And maybe a little more actionable than some ideas put forward at the conference. Like that one guy who said that some games just have the magic. Though in fairness, it's getting a similar idea. However, for Harrington, it's vital to either cut off games without the juice before they make it out of development and fight like hell to keep the good ones going. Yeah, because like we was reading in the other article earlier with WB and Multiverses. That WB kart racer idea for a game fucking sucked. So it got chopped down before it got finished being developed. Because it takes time and money to develop these games. Millions and millions of dollars. Now, maybe not hundreds of millions all the time, but a good portion of the time. It takes multiple millions of dollars to make these games. So if you're 2 million in the hole and the shit is looking ass, you want to go another 98 million in the hole before you figure out unplug them keyboards, wrap the cord around them, unplug the mouse, wrap the cord around it, get the fuck out and wrap it up. That shit is yeah. No, I don't have to. That's fair. But you'll be alright. But yeah, sometimes you gotta tell them to wrap it up. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Keep it, like I said, it's hard sometimes, but you gotta put your hand on the shoulder and be like, drafts. It's currently in the drafts. Keep it in that location. Or you spend millions and millions and millions and you over here like WB crying and broke selling shit, cutting down projects that could actually be successful because the amount of money you would save by cutting it down would be less than the amount of money you would make from it. Anyway, and like when it comes to WB, it's a lot I hate about them, especially when it comes to like how we've seen a bunch of stuff leaked for them and how good it would be. Anyway, let's talk about the Battlefield 6 leaks. Battlefield 6 boss discusses leaks and how fan feedback is in everything, which goes into what I was just saying. Just because people say, yo, this is garbage, that don't necessarily mean it's garbage. But if your target audience says this is garbage, it might be time to rethink. Posting on social media, Serling reminded fans that Battlefield Labs exists for a reason. Yeah, to test out ideas, to see how people actually react to playing the game. Because there's some people that'll play a game, have fun, front, and be like, man, that shit was garbage, just to make you feel bad. So if we have people that are telling us their honest feelings, we know that they're fans of this franchise, gaming franchise, and this style of game, and that if they say, it's something we gotta fix. And that reason is to allow the developers at DICE to refine the experience ahead of launch. Excuse me. Any footage that has leaked out of the test is not necessarily representative of the games fans will one day play. Yeah, some games go through a lot of changes in development. No game just starts off one way and ends that exact same way. That's very, very rare. Unless it's like a sequel that's based on already pre-established things in the previous game. But when it comes to gameplay, even still, certain things about the gameplay can be changed and upgraded and stuff like that. This Battlefield may look to play one way, but I assure you it also has many layers you need to play to proceed. Yeah, Battlefield is one of those game franchises, even though it's another first-person shooter, it's one of the top first-person shooters for a reason, and that reason is depth. All the Battlefield games have always had a very large amount of depth and a very crazy-looking skill curve. Because you can hop into a casual Battlefield game and have fun, like just role playing or something like that, even if you're missing shots and BSing, or you can hop in and be a sweaty and be the one at the top of the leaderboard. It allows for both styles of gameplay, and I really like and enjoy that about it, because again, not only is it a cool setting, it has a lot of mechanical depth. So this is a statement I 100% agree with. Serlin said, a key reason outside of making a battlefield everyone wants to play to use something like labs, allowing us devs to find the best possible outcome for our designs together. Because if they just sit there and bounce their own ideas off the wall, it's a 50-50 as to whether it's good or not. But if you sit there and you bounce your ideas off of your target audience, it's not a 50-50 as it whether it will be good or not. It's a 100% guarantee. Well, not 100, you know, there's always that 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 100,000 million trillion zeros, 1% chance. But still, that chance goes down way for if you're just guessing and just bow, 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 shooting in the dark with your eyes closed. While DICE often takes on fan feedback, while DICE does take on fan feedback to drive development of the actual game, that's just one vector. Yeah, because sometimes, again, and this is the weird nuance in making anything entertainment related. Sometimes people will say they want one thing and then you'll give them that thing and they'll say, nah, I didn't really want this. So what you ask for it for? We use equal amounts of feedback, data, because data doesn't care about your feelings, right? And confirmation connected to the goals we have for our various game design areas. Some of these will rewamp. What? I guess that's supposed to be vamp, because is it V near W? Hell no. Well, maybe on a mobile keyboard. I don't know, bro. Let me look it up and see if it's a real word. Where did I see it? Various areas and where we want. Wait, no, W's very far from M too. The fuck does that mean? No. Rewamp. That's what it said. Plan your recovery activities. I think they just meant to say revamp and did a terrible job at like spelling it. Based on outcomes, but a majority will hone the balance of, Sheldon said. So far, the Battlefield 6 leaks have revealed new features for the franchise and highlighted how the trademark destruction elements are coming back. Blah, 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 blah. You can sign up for it, whatever. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's low-key the theme of today's stream. Just because you think it's fire, that don't mean everybody else think it's fire. Sometimes you gotta keep it in the drafts, buddy. Technically, this one I more so saw the headline was interesting, and I wanted to know what the hell was going on and why the Tekken League Harada was saying that he spent decades mentally preparing for AI to overtake humans, but it's not happening. If AI really had advanced, we wouldn't be pouring 10, 20, 30 billion yen into making games. Which also is something I would agree with, because remember, if a corporation would, they would kill you for 75 cents more profit, okay? For 0.00001% more profit, they would sell all of your internal organs if they could, okay? They would lock you in a wage cage and make you fucking work for 100 million hours if they could. But it's impractical and there's a lot of laws against it. Oh wait, nope. Is this one of those Harada essays? Because if so, I'm gonna read this shit off stream. If it'll load, golly, let me clear some of my RAM. Okay, this is not too long. A totally unrelated topic, but back when I was a student, I was mentally preparing for the day AI would rapidly evolve and launch a war against humanity like in Terminator. Now, I'm well past the halfway point of my life, and here I am staring at a computer that halts over a single dumb typo in game dev. Error on line 3082. Seriously, you're telling me these AI programs want to declare war on us, but they still freeze up over a full width space? When exactly are AI coming to kill me? 10 years, 20? At this rate, it's too late. Every time I see the news talk about amazing advances in AI, I just roll my eyes. It's the opposite, it's slow. If AI had really advanced, we wouldn't be pouring all this money into making games. Truth is anyone deep into the high-end water-cooled PCs has already felt it. Moore's Law is slowing down. AI's progress, way too damn slow. At this rate, we're gonna die of old age before the Terminator shows up. If I die before Skynet comes online, doesn't that mean I win? Yeah, I thought there was gonna be like more to this than that, but this nigga's just having an existential crisis on the timeline. As a tab will exit out, moving on, bruh. Jeez, how many times I gotta click? This one is just more of like an update, just the updates for the video. Jeff Keighley, the dude who runs the Game Awards, is announcing that he's releasing a new physical event alongside Summer Games Fest. That's another thing that he runs. And I just wanted to give y'all a notoriety. Let me see if it says when it is doing. Launching this week as a next generation platform, blah, 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 blah. The game business will deliver regular B2B podcasts and newsletters. The Game Business Live will take place on June 9th. So June 9th in the summertime, alongside Summer Games Fest, let's look out for the Game Business Live, because it may be some cool stuff that comes out of this. Now, I don't know if this is going to be boring, the hard industry shit for nerds, or if this is going to be like E3 towards the later parts of his life where it started getting commercialized and pimped out and they started letting outside people come through and they made it a spectacle event. Also, another thing, I don't really have to read too much into this article to give y'all the lowdown, but basically the Pocket Pair said that if they can make a Switch 2 version of Power World, if the Switch 2 is strong enough, it'll definitely come in. I'm waiting for those specs on the Switch 2 to see, like, first off, is it more powerful than the Xbox Series S? Because that would be fucking hilarious. Number one. Number two, I want to see those specs in general so I can know that if I buy a Switch, is it going to be like the third Smash machine in a row, or are there going to be like a legitimate reason to buy third-party games on it? Because even with my Switch now, that shit doesn't leave the stand. So like, and if I do want to play a game, I'll mostly play like just a basic mobile game. I've never had the desire or the urge to throw a Switch or any other portable gaming device other than my phone, technically, in my pocket and use it. So hopefully the Switch 2 actually takes into consideration how powerful their console is, how powerful their device is, in terms of what strength they want to make it and whatnot. That being said, if you are in this stream and you want to watch me play Marvel Rivals, just stay in the tab for about a minute, and when I type reload in the chat, just reload.